And the
Yeah.
with the
Oh, you know what? That's how we're starting right there.
yep, right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although you don't control that, I'm the one who edits. All right, but we'll start it there.
It's gonna be really weird if you start it like you saying that I'm the one who control what's edited or whatever.
I'm the one who edits.
Anyways, welcome back to another episode of the Lousy Show. I'm Joe,
I'm Sam.
and we have more Reddit. Am I the asshole? Readings.
That was so fun last time, so we had
Yes.
to do it again. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have some juicy ones today. We have 3 already keyed up. But before we even jump into that, Sam,
I'm not jumping anywhere. Just for we're sitting down.
we are sitting down. This is fair.
Yeah.
I guess
We can roll into it.
roll into telling the people what they should do.
So what you should do is like the fucking video, or else
And then hit the subscribe
No.
button or the follow button.
like the video. All right, and subscribe too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We also have our Discord. Definitely hop over there. And I feel like we haven't really been given the Discord a whole lot of love in the last
We
couple
haven't.
episodes. So yeah, the link will be down below. We should also I think the link's in there. I don't know.
Yes.
We'll find out. It is a lousy show after all, so we got to have something fuck up.
I control the YouTube stuff, so yes, the and the Spotify, all the pretty descriptions you see. So yes, the link will be there.
Yeah.
Jump in the Discord, come have some fun with us, come talk to all the rest of the Lousy community that we have around our lovely show here. And again, make sure to subscribe and follow if you're on any listening sites. Of course, hit the like button. But let's dive in today, Sam. We've got 3 stories keyed up.
Trace.
Uh,
I got the easy one. So what's 3 in Russian? Go.
Da 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 da. Da, da, da. That's all they're saying. They're just counting. The beats are just counting.
Yep.
Anyways, let's start out with our very first story. Let me get that off there for you. Let's start out with our very first story of today, and that is, am I the asshole for saying my wife will have to quit her job if we get booted from another daycare? Now, Sam, I know you're not a father.
No. Mm-mm.
But being a padre, I will tell you this right now. Daycares and finding a good one is very difficult.
Oh, just the stories I've heard from y'all.
Yeah. It's
Interesting to say the least. Yeah.
It's not exactly the most how do I say star-studded event.
No.
Yeah. And the worst part too is I'll say before we jump in, I don't know the details behind this, but I'm assuming there's gonna be a problem with the child in the daycare, and especially if it's your child in the daycare, it's very difficult to kind of like reel that back because you start to get that like you start to get that clout of like, oh, they're the problem child. So yeah, it's
Oh, that's little Jimmy's parents. Little Jimmy's little shit.
yeah, exactly. But let's jump in. My wife and I have a 3-year-old daughter, Alexis. Both of us work, and Alexis has attended daycare since she was 1. In the 2 years since, we have been asked to leave 2 programs because my wife is a micromanager.
Oh, so it's not the kid.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I admit both of us went into the first program not really understanding daycare. I quickly learned that they can't provide personalized care, and after learning from from her teachers, I reset my expectations. My wife, however, has a lot of anxiety and worries about our daughter. She hates when she gets even a little upset. She's in therapy and is working on it. And that's
the daughter or the wife?
what I want to know.
I'm assuming the wife.
Has to be.
I mean,
Based on
like,
context.
Yeah, because I mean, is there really like a therapy that can fix that for a 3-year-old? And if there is, definitely let us know. Because
Technically, some schools do offer.
I'm sure there's some sort of kind of like behavioral thing, but I'm
Yes.
sure it's probably more on the wife.
Yeah, no, I would think in this
scenario.
case it's more on the wife, but daycares, there are certain daycares that do actually take the extra expense of hiring a basically an attitude therapist or behavioral therapist to help kids specifically with like any kind of outburst they have or just if it's a continuous thing, they know how to be able to coach them or coax them through it kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
first program, my wife would constantly watch the live feed and call the daycare multiple times a day.
No. Helicopter.
We had several talks about it, and the school talked to us twice. My wife ended up screaming at one of the teachers and then the director. We were terminated immediately. Second daycare was a little better because my wife began therapy, but my wife was still so nervous and had a complaint every single day. These were not important things. Small things like she saw another child took a toy from Alexis and she would cry. The teacher would give the toy back to Alexis, but my wife didn't understand why the other child wasn't punished for it. This daycare didn't kick us out, but did eventually suggest that this may not be the best program for us. My wife and I decided to pull Alexis out. My wife because of her anxiety, myself because I knew my wife had burned bridges and was becoming one of those moms. We chose a similar home daycare at this time as we couldn't afford another center. The woman who owns it is very nice, but also firm. She stands by her boundaries and won't let my wife break any rules, whereas the centers were definitely more accommodating. My wife would take any inch she got. This time she didn't get that opportunity. I thought all was well, as the owner only speaks to my wife for the most part. Then I get put in a group text saying my wife has been bombarding the owner with texts every day, despite the owner saying she will text her at lunch when things are settled. She said at this point she will only be responding at specific times of the day and not looking the rest. The owner then sent several pages of the contract. Good job, Redditor. With passages highlighted, reminding us of certain policies my wife had violated. I was pissed. When Alexis went to bed that night, my wife and I talked. I said this was our last option for daycare. The other centers are too expensive, and this was the only home daycare in the area that we like. A nanny is not in our budget. My wife made a million excuses, including that it's not her fault she's anxious. I said if we are asked to leave this program too, my wife will be the one quitting her job to watch Alexis, not me. This upset my wife. I pointed out I've spoken to her kindly about this plenty of times. I encourage her to keep up her therapy, but she can't keep getting us kicked out of the programs. My wife is now not speaking to me. Am I the asshole? There is an edit. I cannot be the primary contact for daycare due to not being able to have my phone on me at work, which is a common thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Wow.
Sam?
Oh, man, this sucks. So yeah, it's definitely got nothing to do with the kid, like my original expectation. I thought I was going to be a little heathen. Turns out it's not. Turns out the wife is kind of the heathen in this scenario.
Yeah.
And I can understand, I'm not a parent, but I can understand wanting to make sure that the best is happening for your child.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, to that point, you can only have but so much control. You cannot be a helicopter parent and just chilling over top of them 24/7, 365 in a scenario like this where you're getting somebody else to watch your child for you so that you can go to work. And so not only is it going to get in the way of work, because then you're constantly watching a live feed, it's going to get in the way of the child's development, because then at that point, like, they need to learn how to deal with getting your toys taken away from another kid. Mm-hmm. And, they need that social element to it. And so, like, bad shit's got to happen to your kid eventually, and if it's a minor thing like your toy getting taken away, that can transition much better later on into good behavior when something worse happens.
Yeah.
So that being said, I understand that there's an anxiety element to it, and I feel for that. But there's therapy for a reason, and you need to let the reins off a bit. And so, like, I totally think that the poster's in the right here, because, like, yeah, what other options are there going to be there? And then the only thing that will actually satisfy the wife at that point will be staying at home with the kid 24/7. I mean, maybe they could even turn it into an opportunity where she, God damn it. Speaking of anxiety, where she opens up her own daycare, maybe. She could do that. I don't know if anybody would want, I wouldn't want to take my kid to that lady if that's the case, but it's a way of making income and watching your kid simultaneously. And then maybe she'll be put in the shoes of the teachers at that point too. So I personally think that the poster is not the asshole.
Okay.
For that.
Okay.
Because, I don't think, I think that's a fair justification that, well, if we can't get somebody else to do this, one of us is going to have to.
Yep.
And it should probably be you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm going to go a bit more
parent.
aggressive.
Oh, okay.
Leave.
Oh, God.
Let me explain why I say that.
Yeah.
And that is, it's very simple. Thank you.
Sorry, OCD.
I, as a parent, we said time and time again that there's levels in which your partner has to be able to respect your boundaries and your understanding.
Yeah.
The wife does not respect him. I believe.
Yeah, if she's going to that level of like not speaking to him and getting super mad.
Well, so a couple things here. It seems like he's not finding out for a while. She's just not telling him.
Yeah.
She's not telling him what's going on with their kid. That's number one bad move right there. Because if she's the primary contact, she should be letting him know. Like my wife and I, every single day, in the evenings, because I work from home, I don't get to go. I'd like drop my son off at school every day because his school is 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
I don't do that. She does that. And I take care of, making sure when they come home, like I take care of that, a lot of the household duties, making sure they have a meal cooked when they get home because my job allows for that set of flexibility.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I know exactly what happened every single day with him.
Yeah.
Down to the exact detail of what took place if he was a bad kid or something, or an interaction happened or an altercation happened, whatever it may be. She's not telling him.
No.
This has been happening for a while. Yeah, she's in therapy, but part of me wonders if she's even going to therapy or if she's just telling him. Because she's not telling him all the details about their kid.
Yeah.
And she says she's in therapy. How does he know she's in therapy? How does he know that she's actually getting help for this? And make no mistake, listeners, I'm not sitting here and trying to bash her. If she's getting therapy, great. If the therapy's not working, find another therapist.
Yeah.
Because that means you're just not working well with the person you're speaking to. Simple as that. There's ways to get around that. But if I were in this situation and I'm finding this stuff out way later, or I find out that the promises that were made to me by my wife are not being upheld, especially when it comes to our kid and our livelihood, oh no, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be livid because now what he's having to understand is, okay, I'm going to have to go back and rebudget everything to make sure that we can be able to afford it because it's very likely my wife's going to have to quit her job.
Yeah.
And what's even worse is the fact that I think it was, what was it? She said, let's see, hang on. Where was it? I was pissed when Alexis went to bed that night. My wife and I talked. I said, this is our last option for daycare. The other centers are too expensive, and this was the only home daycare in the area that we like. A nanny is out of our budget. My wife made a million excuses, including that it's not her fault she's anxious. No, it's not your fault you're anxious, but they make medication for that. They make therapy for that. If your therapist isn't working, that's not your husband's fault. And if you are the cause of this scenario and it's your anxiety, it sounds like, and I think you made a mention of this, you take the step back.
Yeah.
Because husband poster here is perfectly content with what's happening at these schools. He understands that, a kid's probably going to end up smacking my daughter at some point, but I'm sure they're going to get punished. Oh, I'm sure that they're going to be taking toys away at some point. Oh, what happened? Shit, I'll give you a quick story. My son, just a couple weeks ago, was causing hell. Nap time rolls around, he stands up off his mat and stomping around, screaming, keeping all the other kids awake. Losing his mind. Decided that he wanted to start throwing chairs at one point. I get a call from the school to the point in which I had to drive to the school in the middle of my workday to go address this. I had to go sit in the director's office with the director, the behavioral therapist, and him. And of course, he knew the moment I showed up, he was like, oh, I messed up.
Yeah.
But he knew. But here's the thing. I trusted the school and their best judgment to handle the scenario and call me in the event that I was needed. You have to.
Yeah.
That's what those teachers are there for. If you have that bad of anxiety, you need to reevaluate and again, probably go ahead and step out of your job to go ahead and make sure that she's okay.
Yeah.
And then you take care of her from home. Because what it sounds like is this kid's going to grow up in a very sheltered home.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Likely going to be homeschooled at some point if everything goes the way that it sounds like it's going. And this kid's going to grow up thinking that nothing bad will ever happen to her.
Yeah. No, you can't be coddled like that growing up. You have to have, it kind of sucks to say, but you have to have kind of shitty experiences every now and then because that's life. I mean, life is both good and bad, and it's the balance of the two. Yeah, like, 'cause I mean, all good is like it's kind of boring, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
But like you have to have at least a little bit of shit, like your toys getting taken away.
Yes.
Or throwing chairs every now and then because you're a pissed off little 4-year-old. So.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that this is absolutely asinine.
Yeah.
I think that the poster is not the asshole. And like I said, it's getting to a point where, especially for if I were in this case, and it sounds like this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, 2 years. 2 years this has been going on since the daughter was 1 and she's now 3.
Yeah.
So for 2 years you've been dealing with this. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Get some marital therapy, but probably walk away.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at the very least, yeah, like heavy doses of therapy.
yeah, as a kid who grew up in a home where my biological father was not around.
Yeah.
My mother, I mean, the listeners have heard at this point, my mother was not exactly the greatest person in the world.
Yeah.
I went through my own fair share of therapy.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, like I've seen friends who their parents split and they're doing just great.
Yeah.
Because they realized that as they got older, oh, you know what? Wasn't the best environment for my parents to be together.
Yeah.
But now they're both very happy apart.
Yeah.
That sounds like the situation here. That sounds like a situation that needs to happen. And I'm gonna be real with you. I feel so bad for this dude.
Yeah.
I wish I could reach out to this guy and be like, hey man, it's gonna get like life's gonna get better, but you got to work through this. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's just going to be, you got to put your head down and work through it.
Let's see.
Shit happens. Shit happens.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see what the everyone said.
If
here.
anybody says you're the asshole, I'm going to punch them in the face.
Well, be prepared.
Yep.
Let me see. The vote is.
All right.
Where's the vote? Where'd they put it?
That's a bot.
Oh,
Scroll down. There
bang.
you go.
Not sorry. Yeah, that's on me. Not the asshole. To keep it 100% honest with you, 20 years down the line, your daughter's going to hate your wife, and there's a high chance she will not be a part of your lives. Your wife is the exact definition of a toxic helicopter parent. She's going to not only ruin your life, already in that process, your daughter's life in the future and her own life.
I like to reply to that. This is 100% not the asshole. OP's wife isn't just a helicopter parent, but a steamroller.
Yeah. She will steamroll any and all challenges their daughter will ever face, making sure their daughter. This is the kind of mother that becomes Bridezilla's like mother demon. Like,
Yeah.
I would hate to see what happens when their daughter like gets old enough and gets married and she's just.
This is also a good thing here too. OP, please listen to this. Please Google what healthy distress tolerance is in children, which that's exactly what we're talking about, like dealing with shitty situations.
Yes.
Yeah. So keep going down.
Yeah. Not the asshole. Your wife is harassing and abusing the daycare workers. Exactly right. Which also I'd like to point out this too.
Yeah.
And this is something that I found very interesting the day that all happened with my son. I personally went to the teacher because the teacher, my son, that same day had the teacher in tears.
That's crazy. Yeah.
My son is 4.
Yeah.
That teacher's, I think, in her late 20s. So she's in tears. I show up to the school. As I get there, she's walking out of the director's office. She sees me and like cuts a glance down and takes off to her classroom.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why. Come to find out later on, apparently there's a lot of parents out there, just like this, who instead of reprimanding their child would have gone and said, what are you doing wrong to my child that's causing him to do that? No. I went back to that classroom after I had that meeting and I took him with me. I said, you're going to go apologize.
Yeah.
In front of the class, he apologized to the teacher. He apologized to the class for being such a little douchebag to him. And then I went to the teacher. I was like, hey, can I talk to you in private? And I could see like she had this like severe look of anxiety on her face.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she walked over and she said, yeah, how can I help you? And I was like, I want you to know I am sorry that he did this.
Yeah.
You don't deserve this. That other teacher doesn't deserve this. The class doesn't deserve this. And I promise you, he's going to be a better kid tomorrow when he comes in.
Yeah.
And she was just, it's almost like you could watch the relief wash over her. Like,
oh, yeah. Because especially like where we live, people suck.
Yes.
Like just in general, the super entitled Karens are all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh man. Okay. I'm glad that people are not Karens in the comments there.
Oh yeah, no, I am very happy that we're seeing a lot of not the assholes. I'm curious if anybody said that he is the asshole. Everyone's the asshole.
No. Really?
Everyone's
No.
Wait.
NBA.
So what is this? ETA? I don't understand.
I think they meant to do like edit or update or
Probably.
something like that. And then
Probably.
just,
Yeah, it looks like the general consensus is not the asshole, which is good.
Yeah, 'cause
I can't.
I don't see a world where the poster is an asshole in this at all.
Yeah, I came here fully prepared to call you the asshole and suggest you quit your job and stay home, based on the title.
Yeah.
But here we are, not the asshole. Therapy is great, but your wife was spoken. But has your wife spoken to her PCP about the medical diagnosis of PPDA? Would she be open to medical intervention? Something tells me that this degree of overbearance will not solve itself over time. It would only help with the.
Which, for the listeners, I think PPDA is what, postpartum depression / anxiety?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Yep.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, not the asshole.
Yeah, definite not the asshole.
And this is. I mean, I'm again. We're not professionals.
No.
We're just husbands.
Yep. Mm.
This is without a doubt one thing I want to say to any parents out there is no one can tell you how to parent your kid.
No.
No one can ever tell you. I've seen so many TikToks, like, and ironically enough, and I'm gonna use this as a reference point. Right before we started recording, I was watching a video that caused you to just get angry.
Oh, I hate it. Yeah.
And I mean, and when I mean angry, I don't see that kind of level of like boiling anger out of you very often, but you were just stoic to the point where I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
For me, those videos are the ones of people saying, "Yo, if your kid's acting up in public, I'll be the one to smack the shit out of them."
Yeah.
I promise you this. You try it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't know you and you touch my kid, brother, you hitting the ground fast.
Oh, yeah.
This is simple as this. No one can parent your kid other than you. First and foremost. No grandparents, no aunts or uncles. It doesn't matter what boundaries you've set for who does what. My friends all know, you're the uncle to my son.
Yeah.
And you know that absolutely, like if he's messing up, you'd be the one to be, and I'm not like seeing this, you'd be like, hey, you know he's not looking, be careful. But that's because you and I had that mutual respect of knowing that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to parenting, I'm the one that has to have that conversation with him.
Yeah.
Or my wife. We have to have that conversation. We have to have that talk with him. We have to teach him.
Oh, yeah. No, my wife and I have definitely taken the role of we're basically just there to help you try to do that in the event that we need to. So, like, for example, like when we watched him for a few days, you know, we were just kind of reinforcing the same behaviors that you told us to reinforce.
Exactly.
And, you know, I'm not going to try to sit there and parent him. He can watch Paw Patrol all day at my house. I don't care. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's the parent's responsibility, not a stranger's.
Correct.
Unless it's a daycare situation.
Correct.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the simple thing is this is when you are parenting your kids, it has to be both of you working together on this.
Yeah.
And unless you're in a single parent home, which unfortunately those do exist.
Yeah.
If you're in a single parent home, you still have to parent it correctly.
Yeah.
It still has to be a balance between you and your ex partner or current partner, depending on the situation. You know, it has to be that healthy balance between the two parents of knowing exactly how to parent that child. This is not a healthy parenting situation.
No.
This is overbearance. This is one parent thinking they can take the reins and purposefully disengaging and excluding another parent out of this equation.
Yeah.
No, that is not fair. That is not okay. I've seen a lot of friends who have had kids who have acted similar to this, not to this severity. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
So have that talk. Be smart about it. Like definitely figure it out. But to this guy, get out of there.
Definitely.
If I'm being honest. All right. Oh, it's locked. Oh, it's just a short post. Okay.
Oh, it's just. Oh, in excess of rule violations. This will be an interesting one. Okay.
Oh, let's go. Okay, so you go ahead and pop off with this one, sir.
Yep. Am I the asshole for demanding respect from my daughter-in-law if she can't get, and if she can't, then get the fuck out?
Hang on. Let
me reread that. Yeah. Am I the asshole for demanding respect from my daughter-in-law, and if she can't, then get the fuck out?
Okay,
yeah.
Understood. Got it. Go.
I'm a young mother-in-law. I'm only 39. Had my kids pretty young, and I'm very lucky that my husband makes a lot of money, so I don't have to work. I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and once they started to spread their wings instead of going to work, my husband and I decided I would be a homemaker and be active in the community. That's what I've been up to, and I try to make the community a better place. Now, my oldest son, 22, married, and I was really excited until...
It's really early.
Yeah. Was really excited until I met her. In general, she is a very business-focused person that is very blunt. I actively dislike her, but I try to be polite for my son's sake. A few examples of why I don't like her. Her wedding gift I handed over saying it was from me and my husband. She responded back with just your husband, since I know it wasn't your money that paid for it. Wow.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Saying I am volunteering, well, that's not a real job since it doesn't make money. It's passive aggressive. And yes, I have talked to my son about it. And even once.
With her to try to clear the air.
What? Once his with her?
Oh, that's, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job, OP.
Yeah, with her to try to clear the air. We had a get together last night, and I made a homemade meal. When I was playing it, I'm assuming plating everything, she came up and plating everything, and made the comment, "Other than no wonder I could make a home cooked meal. I don't do anything else with my day." I lost it and told her that she needs to respect me or get the fuck out of my house. She was shocked and then started to cry when I did kick her out. My son is pissed, and we had a huge argument, and he called me a huge asshole. I need an outside opinion. Wow. Is this an instant response from us?
Not the asshole.
Definitely not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
If she's responding like that, now maybe we don't know both sides of this, and like she's not saying the heinous shit that she's saying to her daughter-in-law, but based off of the information provided, absolutely not the asshole. Like like if somebody talked to me like that, I wouldn't want them in my house. I don't give a shit who they are. Is that ice good?
Ice was delicious. I had to chew on it for a second, man. That got me. That I just also realized Poon Slayer.
It's Tang Slayer.
Sorry,
Jeez.
Tang Slayer 3000's glasses are here.
That'll be forever immortalized on on the show. Yep.
So I don't want to go into detail, but you and I have dealt with a situation like this in my household, where someone said something very heinous to me, and I should have kicked them out.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, I have to thank you in that scenario, because you were the one who very quickly caught it and defused it before I could say something, because you knew I was about to insert foot into mouth to the kneecap.
Yeah.
This?
That's a whole nother level. Yeah.
Part of my brain is telling me that there's something we don't know.
I feel like that, but we can only really go based off of the information that we are provided here.
Yes. But the reason I say that is because either A, this is a genuine post, and that future daughter-in-law is an actual bitch.
Yeah.
Like the demon spawn, which unfortunately there are people out there like that.
Yeah.
Make no mistake. There are there are asshole dudes and bitch dudes and bitch people and asshole people and all kinds of whatever expletives you want to use. This could very well be one of those people. But my brain tells me, hey, what did mother-in-law do to cause this? What did like OP do to cause this?
Because here's where I'm diving in a little deeper. I was really excited until I met her. In general, she's a very business-focused person that is very blunt. So maybe there was like a little bit of bluntness that rubs the mother-in-law the wrong way.
Well, they're completely polar opposite people.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like, so maybe that I actively dislike her, but I try to be polite. Maybe that's where, she's not saying the things that she's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to know I want to know if it was just that caused her to not like her, or if like there's more.
I mean,
because you don't just not like somebody.
I mean, you can. Like once you meet somebody and then you're just immediately like, fuck that person. Like, I mean, I deal with that at work a lot.
That's very fair. That is very fair. I'll give you that. I don't know. Like this got me though. A few examples of why I don't like her. Her wedding gift I handed over saying it was from me and my husband. She responded back with just your husband, since I know it wasn't your money that paid for it. Like, why?
Who responds like that?
Yeah.
Like, even when you don't like somebody, like, if it's like a mother-in-law situation, if you're at least just being polite and cordial to each other, like you wouldn't say shit like that. And so it's either one of them is terrible for sure. but maybe it's justified assholery.
Even goes even further. I just realized saying I am volunteering saying I am volunteering well, that's not a real job since it doesn't make money.
Who gives a shit? If the father makes enough money, who cares?
It's passive aggressive, and yes, I've talked to my son about it, and every once, and even once with her to try to clear the air.
I don't know what they're trying to say there. And
okay, I'm gonna say this.
Oh, and even once with her. Okay, so they've had conversations.
Yeah, they've spoken about this.
Yeah.
I am going to base my vote solely off of what we've read.
Yeah,
we don't know.
That's all we can do. I mean, we can speculate a lot, but I agree. I think we need to go based off of what we see. It's absolutely not the asshole.
What's tingling my button, if you will, is I want to know why this post got locked. I can't wait to see this. So hang on before we do that.
Yeah.
So we agree, not the asshole.
Definitely not.
I do want to say one last thing before we scroll down. It's the part about the homemade meal that's caught, like all of this, everything before that, I was like, everyone's the asshole. Because she said she's actively dislikes her.
Yeah.
So that could tell me that you might be like, when she's around you, you're like,
a little short, little snooty.
Snippy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's the part where she just straight up starts going at her like,
no wonder you can make a homemade meal. You don't do anything else with your day.
Bro, I'm surprised she didn't throw the pan at her. Like,
oh yeah, she'd be like, if I was in her shoes, I'd be catching an assault charge.
Yeah, I'd honestly, I would have loved to have been a fly in there and hear her say that and hear the thunk. Yeah, it's like the pan just connects.
Anybody else get flashbacks to fucking PUBG with the fucking pan?
Yes, absolutely. All right, here we go.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Wow, she's a total asshole. But just because you don't conform to her business-focused personality doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. What you and your husband have works for you two, the two of you, and you volunteer for the community. Whether it pays or not doesn't take away from your commitment and responsibility you show to others. Daughter-in-law is a piece of work. What does husband say to all this? My husband hates her. I had to drag him to the wedding so it wouldn't destroy his and our kids' relationships. Not the asshole. But daughter-in-law is and son sort of enabling her. She has absolutely no social graces of awareness. Her business focus will never overcome that. I haven't seen where the son's enabling it. I haven't. The only thing that I can think of is the fact that it wasn't stated, but he didn't stop her.
Yeah, I mean, apparently that pussy's got to be real good.
Oh, okay. Well, not the asshole. Holy crap, she's putting you down for being a stay-at-home mom for what? Shits and gigs? That's very small of her. She's the asshole, and the fact that you've talked to your son about this and how he's most likely seen her makes these comments make him an asshole too. I firmly believe that you don't marry someone because they get along with your family, but that doesn't mean they get to treat your family like shit. True.
Very true. Yeah.
It's common. She's probably of the mindset that all of OP's children are now adults or in school, and she no longer has to be a stay-at-home mom. But instead of getting a job, OP has decided not to. That's lazy in these type size. It doesn't matter. No, I disagree.
I totally disagree.
I disagree. It's not lazy at all. What's lazy is just sitting at home watching soaps all day, and when your husband comes home, there's no dinner on the table or anything like that. Like, you want to be a stay-at-home mom or Betty Crocker wife, whatever. Yeah. Like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Period. Some people enjoy that. Some people really appreciate that. Without a shadow of a doubt, totally cool. No one gets to judge you for that.
No.
But the fact of saying that it's lazy in these type size, I would disagree. It's this person's just outwardly trying to be an asshole. Like the daughter-in-law, I should say, is just trying to be an outward asshole for no reason.
Yeah.
And whether that's entitlement, whether that's a hierarchical mindset of like, oh well, I'm better than you because I have a job, like no. And even on top of that, she, like, going back to this, it doesn't matter if she's a stay-at-home mom or not. She went out and started becoming a part of the community. She was outwardly trying to help with the community, whether it was community outreach, whether it's volunteer work at the shelters or whatever. Like, she's trying to be an integral piece to the community. That's more than any of us can say we do for our communities. Period. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Not the asshole. How on earth could your son be justifying this behavior? True. Not the asshole. What the hell? Who made her the boss of what women should and shouldn't do and what does and doesn't count as contribution? She needs to keep her condescending comments and judgments to herself. Truth. Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching this so far. We greatly appreciate you hanging out with us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube or listening on any listening sites. Make sure to go follow us on there as well. And also, if you're watching the video, drop us a like and share it to your friends who might want some lousy advice as well. If you have any at all lousy advice that you want from us or any lousy ideas that you'd like us to cover, drop it in the actual comments down below or send it to us at thelousypodcast@gmail.com. You can also email us there anytime with any ideas you have. Back to the show. Yeah, this smells like context is missing. A whole lot of I do nothing wrong. She's just rude to me and out of nowhere vibes. Nowhere. Okay. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Definitely missing context.
And that's what we talked about. There could very well be a lot of missing context here. I mean, we can never get the whole picture based off of a paragraph. Yep. But based off of what we see there, not the asshole. But
correct.
Yeah, so like I get that comment, and I'm wondering if it's shit like that got this locked. To where people just took that to a whole nother level of like, oh no, you're clearly an asshole because you're not telling us the entire truth.
True. Yeah. And I wonder if those comments got hidden because I'm not seeing any that's causing this. This is too brief and lacking in detail to possibly be the full story. I'm not saying you're the asshole, but there has to more to the bigger picture. Okay. Let me read this. Info. What is your and your husband's emotional and financial relationship with your oldest son and your other children? How old is your husband? What did your daughter-in-law say or do at your first meeting that made you actively dislike her? Why were you really excited until you met her? We are very well off. My husband is more the no words type, and I am the one that was the emotional relationship. I thought our relationship was pretty good. My husband is 3 years older than me. We first met at a restaurant, and I went to pay. It was a big bill. She commented on how I can afford it since I don't work. That's started. Commented how can she afford it if she doesn't work. That started the snide remarks, and from then on about me missing my husband's money or using my husband's money. Excuse me. I was excited due to only having boys, and I thought it would be nice to have another woman in the family. I was hoping to invite her to do stereotypical girl activities like the spa, but I never did because the comments started real quick. Thanks for the info, not the asshole. She sounds like a piece of work. Your son is really young to be getting married, or at least he is to me. That's what I said earlier. Yeah. And the type of girl he settled on seems a bit convenient. Like he's actively trying to reject his parents and their lifestyle and rebel this way. It sounds like it's an issue with both your son and the daughter-in-law combined. True. What is it? Oh, see, somebody got deleted here. So here's the thing. How did she know you didn't work outside of the home? It's just coming from your son. He picked a woman who would treat his mom like this. Maybe it's because he doesn't respect you. I think our kids don't understand how much work it takes to care for them. It's time for a one-on-one talk between you all. This goes back to parenting. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to dwell on this. I think that we agree still fully that this is a not the asshole scenario.
Yeah.
I do agree that the son could be not necessarily egging it on, but certainly not stopping it.
No.
And whatever reason that may be is on him.
Yeah.
The part that I don't like is when people automatically have the assumption of, oh, people don't respect what we do as parents. I disagree.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is a parenting situation. If you take care of your kid, if you provide for your kid, if your kid recognizes the hard work and determination you apply to your family and not only just the aspect of work, the aspect of care, the aspect of being there, the aspect of what kind of upbringing they had and taught to have that kind of respect, they're not going to be like this.
Yeah.
They're not just going to suddenly rebel. You know, I think back to the Daniel Sloss. Do you know who Daniel Sloss is? Comedian.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a hilarious comedian. He was talking about how his parents are just ultra liberals when it comes to just what they allow. Because like when he was like 15, he was like, I'm going to start drinking. And they were like, okay, like,
yeah.
As long as you do it here and safe, it's fine. Yeah. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to start smoking. And they were like, yeah, we smoke pot too. Like, what do you, do you want some? Like,
yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to start having sex. And they were like, okay, like, you know,
wrap it before you stab it, bud.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, if you teach your kids to have that level of respect and give them the freedoms, they're not going to rebel like this. They're not going to, I've never met someone who hates their parents when their parents actually taught them what respect was like and what hard work looks like and and being able to understand the freedoms you have.
Part of me, I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, that's my thought. It's like, I just don't see, I don't see where he's just going to rebel like that.
Yeah. Part of me thinks, because she, in one of the comments, she had said that husband's the no words type and she's the much more emotional one. So what I'm thinking is, so like, and I've seen this through like friends before that, like, they don't respect the stay-at-home mom because and I'm not saying it's the dad's fault in there, but like somebody needs to say, hey, she does a lot around here. You know, like, it's like, yeah, she's staying at home, but she's, you know, keeping the house up, cooking you food, making sure you get to where you need to go.
Yeah.
And so like, and sometimes it's just, you know, the dad's totally unavailable, whether emotionally or physically, to kind of reinforce that thought.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm wondering if it's maybe something like that. But
Very
man,
possible. Very possible. Curious if any more are going to. These fake posts are getting out of hand. This is written in a way where I don't believe a version of you. It's
we're starting to get into
I have
it
doubts this is true. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Not the ass. Oh, hold up. Whoa. Whether or not. Hang on. This already. Okay. Based on this comment here, this already sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Not the asshole. Whether or not you work or how you share finances between you and your husband, and it is none of her business. If she was previously unaware that such comments are rude, she's aware now. You are 100% right, but if you care to salvage your relationship with your son or try to build one with her, it may be in your best interest to offer a sit down with both of them. She already did.
Yeah.
Give her the benefit of the doubt and that she was possibly raised by wolves who never taught her such comments are out of bounds, and ask her for a fresh start. Remember that this woman will likely bear your grandchildren and will have a great deal of control over what type of relationship you get to have with them. Comment, when they have children, daughter-in-law will be very glad to have free childcare because grandma doesn't do anything with her day.
Oh my God. Yikes.
And grandma is young. She's actually could help with childcare. Our 1-year-old kid has 4 loving grandparents who are all 70 plus. They adore him, but they can't really keep up. And I wouldn't ask for them for childcare. This daughter-in-law has little awareness of the world and doesn't understand what the future holds. Maybe she's too business-minded to want any kids. That's fair. That's fair. I'm suspecting we don't have all the details here. So just out of curiosity, does anyone other than your son like this woman? That's a good question. I don't know. I do feel like that. I don't want to dwell on this one much longer, but I do feel like this could very well be missing some details.
Yeah.
But we have to go based on the details that are provided, not the asshole.
Yeah. TLDR, not a huge amount of context, but based off of the context that is there, not the asshole.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree entirely. All right, last but not least, let's dive into this one. Sam, am I the asshole for kicking out my pregnant teenage stepdaughter over my cat?
Title alone, yeah. But let's hear some context here.
Also, locked post, no new comments are allowed.
Dude, in excess of rule, yeah, so it's not that old. It's only 24 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yikes.
I'm at the vet waiting room with my cat, so I'm going to rush this and edit the grammar later. Okay. So I, 35F, have been with my 45 male fiance for 3 years now. He has 2 kids, a daughter, 22, who's a lovely girl, and other daughter, 19, who I'll call Kim for the sake of the post. Kim has always had a bad attitude to everyone, especially me now. Before anyone assumes, my fiance was already divorced with his ex 2 years before we even met, and his ex was a nice person who I get along with very well, so there's no hate on her, from her end either. I want to pause. Massive W.
Yeah, co-parenting for the win. Yeah,
Not only
sure.
co-parenting, but the fact that like I see co-parenting as mom and dad.
Yeah.
If they're separated or divorced, figure it out. But the fact that step parent is involved now and you have a good relationship between the two and there can be communication there, that's
massive W. Yep.
Phenomenal. That's the good stuff. Okay. Kim is 3 months pregnant and living with us because we have more room for her and the baby. The baby daddy stays sometimes, but he has 2 jobs along with studies, so it's mainly been me who's taking care of her. Okay.
Yeah.
So the main issue today, her boyfriend came over, so my fiance suggested we let them have the house to themselves and go for a walk. About 2 hours later, I came home and noticed my cat missing, who Kim hated and wanted me to get rid of. I asked her where he was. Kim said she ran out the door, which I knew was bullshit. Whiskey is an elderly cat who even couldn't go out on the porch if I didn't bring him. So I checked the Ring camera, and as expected, Kim threw Whiskey out, that then ran her off. Wow.
Yikes.
My fiance tried saying Kim is pregnant. Her hormones are all over the place, and pregnancy brain messes with women, and that he was going to bring up getting rid of Whiskey for the baby's sake anyways. I was in tears till I looked over at Kim with a smug, satisfied look on her face. I fucking lost it. I got up in her face and screamed that she had 1 hour to find my cat or all her shit would be in the dumpster, and I was done being her slave. Wow. She said she wasn't looking for my stupid cat and back off as she was pregnant. My fiance told me to calm down, and we'd look for the cat. I told him no, I would look for my cat, and when I got back, his daughter better be gone. And if he has issues, he could go too, because I was sick of dealing with his little bitch of daughter, who everyone, including her own parents and boyfriend, avoids. God damn. Okay. I didn't wait for them to respond. I did hear her crying, though. As you know, I found my cat. He was hiding in some bushes. It took 20 long minutes to find him. When I arrived home, they were both in the living room. My fiance said he wanted to talk, but first he said I owed Kim an apology. I told him fuck himself, and she better start packing. She's at her boyfriend's family home, as far as I know, and my fiance is not talking to me. Update: I didn't think I'd get at least. Update: I didn't think I'd give at least this soon. So now my ex-fiance's oldest daughter, so they broke up.
Yikes.
So now my ex-fiance's oldest daughter reached out to me to ask my side. I'll call her Kate. She's an animal lover like myself. Her father asked to stay with her for a few nights because he said I was having a breakdown over my cat. He basically made out the cat escaped, and I went after poor Kim for not trying to catch him in her condition. Kate is a very smart girl. She can see bullshit from a mile away, and obviously she knows her own sister, so she called Kim to ask her side. Kim was more honest. Basically, her and her dad planned it, as some of you suggested. The plan was for her baby daddy to take the cat out a road dump, but he wouldn't do it because, in Kim's words, he was a pussy. So they got in a fight about it, and Kim, thankfully being lazy, just kicked Whiskey out and ran him out of the yard. Kate told me the way Kim's talking about me and Whiskey, even if she does move back, she'd do something for revenge to Whiskey. So I decided to listen to Kate. My friends, the vet, his assistant, and everyone here, I called off the wedding, which is in a few weeks, and broke up with my ex-fiance by text. I don't give a fuck if it's immature or cruel. I've told him I'll box up his stuff for him and leave it for him to collect in a few days. Don't worry about Whiskey. I told my ex, call me when he's coming over, so he'll be locked in a room safe, and I'm calling a 24-hour locksmith next. I'm begging the begging and bullshit promises have already started, but my mind's made up. I'm done being his ATM slave for him and his spoiled bitch of a daughter, Kim. Whiskey is fine, BTW, just a little shaken, but he's curled up in my lap, refusing to move.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
We definitely chose a good one last. Okay.
Oh, man.
Sam?
Oh, wow.
I have my verdict in mind.
I think I do too. So the daughter-in-law, we'll say, is definitely an asshole, without a shadow of a fucking doubt. Borderline psychotic, if that's what they're going to be. And then also, if the rest of the family is planning this to try to get rid of the cat, that and going behind her back to do it, like having a genuine and honest conversation about it would be okay. But being like, all right, we're going to go for a walk, and then I'll get rid of the cat. I'm not a huge fan of cats. Cats are okay, but cats don't fucking deserve that. And then people that have a good relationship with their cats don't just don't deserve that either. So I mean, and
I mean, you had an asshole cat at one point in your life.
well, and I still don't blame the cat because what ended up happening, we had 2 cats. We moved from California to Virginia, brought them with.
Yep.
A few months in, they disappeared because I mean we went from like suburban California to middle of fucking nowhere Virginia.
Yeah.
And they were partially indoor outdoor in California too, and
Yeah.
so they both disappeared around the same time. We figured like a coyote or something got to them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cats, Misty, she was a black cat, came back months later. I'm talking months. And she was definitely not the same. This is very much like a Stephen King book. Like it was very much like she went from like really nice, awesome cat that like would never even try to scratch you, you know, to like, you know, Pet Cemetery level.
Bro let a fucking skinwalker into his house.
Brother, yeah. And so and it almost kind of looked like, so what ended up happening from what we could tell, so she had on a stretchy collar because like we figured if she gets caught on something, she can get out of it.
Yeah.
The opposite happened. She got caught on something, tried to get it out of it, put her paw through it, and it went around her neck and under her, like her armpit, and like kind of cut into her and everything. She managed to get out and then survived in the, like, I'm assuming very dehydrated and like fucked up. Managed to get back months later. With the collar still on, by the way. Yeah. And so it was like, it had basically like her skin had kind of grown over it. It was bad. Yeah. So like took her to the vet, got her all fixed up, you know, and for the first couple of weeks we were like, yeah, she's definitely different, but understandable. But ever since then, she would just like flip a switch and then try to kill you. And so I remember at one point we were having company come over. And my parents said, hey, can you take the cat upstairs and close the door? We had a door that shut off the entire upstairs. Mm-hmm. And so that way she's just out of the way and didn't, you know, assault somebody. And so I take the cat upstairs and I'm starting to take her upstairs. And so I'm carrying her and then she just, switch flipped and I'm almost dead at this point. So she scratches the shit out of my arm to the point where like the scars that I have are not emo scars. They're from the cat. Like, but they went across the highway, not down. So it's okay. I was fine. But so like she scratches me and then I'm like, I think 13 or 12 at the time or something like that. So she scratches the fuck out of me. I drop her and accidentally kick her up the stairs. And so, yeah. So yeah, she was a bit crazy. Then we had her still for a while after that. And then she disappeared again and never came back. Yeah. So we think she went back to the cemetery that she was buried.
I am going to I will say with near certainty for anybody out there who believes in the spooky shit, you let a skinwalker into your house, dog. That was what
Probably.
It was. That cat was just waiting for the perfect moment to be like,
It's like, sup, dog?
yeah. Suddenly stands up, just like, how you doing?
Yeah. Misty? No.
All right,
yeah,
back to this.
Cats don't fucking deserve that.
Correct.
Even Pet Cemetery skinwalker ones. And I mean, it just sounds like it's an old cat that just chills. Like, why do we not like the cat?
Yeah.
You know, but still, like, have a conversation. Don't come up with a plot to get rid of the fucking cat. I'm gonna give it some cement shoes, put it in the river. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I based off of all that, while yes, the reaction is strong, I don't fucking blame her because the entire family's in on it. Other than the older sister. And so, yeah, I'm saying not the asshole in this situation. I would maybe give it an everyone's the asshole, but I'm leaning more towards not the asshole because of the plot against her, basically.
So I hear your points.
Uh-oh.
I hear your judgment.
Yeah.
I hear everything you're saying, and I disagree.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I am going to firmly say that everyone is the asshole.
Okay.
And here's why.
I mean, I can agree with that.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I'm erring on the not side, but
Yeah.
I can concede in everyone.
I will say everyone's the asshole, and here's why. Number one, I agree. As much of a cat person I am not,
Yeah.
cats don't deserve that. Period. I've never met a cat, even knowing your cat. I've never met a cat that deserves that kind of a attention. Your cat definitely didn't like me. Didn't care.
Didn't like anything.
I was the kind of person where if I saw your cat, I'd be like, I got to go through this hallway, but no, I don't. So,
I can wait to poop.
yeah, I can.
It's fine.
I'll shit myself. It's okay. Mind if I use your litter box, dog? Oh, never mind. But the cat doesn't deserve that. The plot of the fact that the husband was in on it, or the fiance rather was in on it, the baby daddy was in on it, and the baby mama was in on it, daughter-in-law. That all like blows my mind that they were even having this conversation. Now, I don't want to get into the semantics of it all, but I don't like the fact that we've let baby mama, future daughter-in-law, I don't like the fact that we've let her have this much power in the household.
Yeah.
It's not her house. I don't care if she's staying there. I don't care if she's pregnant. It's not her house. They are letting her stay there out of the kindness of their own heart. Now, fiance, bruh, why? Like, you're old enough, you're mature and wise enough. You know that ain't like, dude, it's your house. You're getting married to this woman. Is this why you and your partner broke up the first time? Like, were you not reprimanding? All speculation, all semantics. You know, we can get into the weeds of that later, sure. But when it comes down to it, they somehow they have allowed the baby mama, the future daughter-in-law, to have too much power in the household.
Yeah.
And before anybody goes to the comments and starts coming after me, I have a child, which means I've dealt with a pregnant woman before. I understand what pregnancy hormones look like.
It's not that.
It's not that.
It's not that.
It's not that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, teenage stepdaughter being a bitch.
Yeah.
How old is the stepdaughter, did it say?
19.
19. Yeah. So she's being a bitch. She's being an asshole, to be more specific. He's being an asshole. Baby daddy finally got a conscience. He couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
He realized, like, oh, this is actually a really bad idea.
It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Proud of him. He's still an asshole for even entertaining the idea, though.
Yeah.
But this is where I say everyone's the asshole. They've been together for 3 years now. This is the first time that we've seen, and she didn't say there was ever a situation where she was worried. She said they had a very, very good relationship. You can't automatically assume now that everything your fiance was saying is bullshit. You have to listen. If you are that quick to pull the trigger on your relationship ending, you don't need to be in a relationship, especially if it's over your cat.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happened with the cat. Like, what happened with the cat, fucked up. But it says down here, so now my ex-fiance, so clearly showing that, already broken up, so on and so forth. Let's see. So I've decided to listen to Kate, my friends, the vet, his assistant, and everyone here. I called off the wedding, which is in a few weeks, and broke up with my ex-fiance by text. I don't give a fuck if it's immature or cruel. I've told him I'll box up his stuff for him and leave it for him to collect in a few days. Don't worry about whiskey. I told him, told my ex, call me when he's coming over, so he'll be locked in a room safe, and I'm calling a 24-hour locksmith next. The begging and bullshit promises have already started, but my mind's made up. I'm done being his ATM slave.
So it sounds like because she's got the house.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the house.
Correct.
So it's not his or anything. So it sounds like she's kind of taking care of everybody.
Yeah, and she allowed her to get to that point.
Yeah.
On top of that, she's sitting here saying the begging and bullshit promises. Bro, this is one situation. I understand it's severe, but the man's probably realizing, oh, I really did screw up. What can I do to make this different? Like, this isn't even like some situations I would say might be like, this could be the start of abuse. This could be the start of like a gaslighting or whatever. But no, like, we have to take this at face value. it sounds like he's genuinely trying to tell her, like, hey, look, I'm sorry. I didn't think of it this way. Like all I was seeing it was through the these colored lenses. Didn't really understand the severity of the whole situation. But instead, she's like, nah, it's me and my cat against the world, bruh. Like, no, you're being an asshole.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, it's just such an extreme example.
Yeah.
Like I there are definitely situations I can think of that I would say everyone's the asshole, but that's a pretty extreme behind the back plot. Like, I know it's just a cat technically, but and I don't I don't think I could forgive somebody for doing something like that. Like, yes, it's fucked up, and yet it's just that's such a whole another level.
Yeah.
If it was just like let's secretly set up a meeting so we can talk to her about getting rid of the cat.
Yeah.
If it was like that and you get upset about that, sure, but have the fucking conversation.
Yeah.
There was no conversation here at all. They were making a decision, and basically taking somebody's not only property, but pets are family,
Absolutely.
and getting rid of a family member, just because one person didn't like the cat.
Yeah.
So like, that's why I'm on the not the asshole side, because that's really fucked up.
Oh no, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with it. It's a very fucked up situation, but there's better ways to handle it.
I'm sure you can try to have that conversation.
I feel like this would be an agree to disagree moment between us, but let's see what everyone else said.
Yeah.
So you said not the asshole. I said everyone's the asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. Not the asshole. As a cat owner, I salute you. I mean, yeah, you might lose a relationship over this, but from the sounds of it, if this doesn't do it, something else likely will. I would disagree. After 3 years of having a good relationship, and this, granted, this is the Pompeii of situations in your relationship. Like, I don't know. In all honesty, I'm not someone who likes pets. I've had them in the past. I've cared for them, always making sure they were safe, fed, got proper care and such, but I lack the ability to bond with them, and I support her kicking out the fiance over this crap. I'm 100% in favor of the cat staying over the people in the house. Oh, we have 28 replies. Good Lord.
So at the I think maybe where it's gone to the extreme is breaking up with the fiance, but then at the same time, having a relationship with the stepdaughter like that would be really difficult,
Not the asshole. Stepdaughter attacked your defenseless cat and got what she deserved. Curious if you own the house. It's mine.
Yeah, so she owns the house. Yeah.
157 replies. Holy shit.
Kick them all out. You deserve better.
Make sure you check with a lawyer to make sure they don't have rights to stay there. And the nanosecond you are legally clear, change the logs. Abandoned house cats do not survive long. And regardless of the jokes, cats do get very attached to their owners and suffer emotionally when they are separated. True.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a living being, like that's fucked up to just try to get rid of a living being like that.
Yeah.
If it was a hamster, I will fucking whatever,
Kick them all out, sister. You got girl power. We at Reddit are by your side. Plus the gal to lie. The gall.
Yep.
Yeah. The gal. Plus the gall to lie right to your face. This girl is a manipulative liar. Oh, make no mistake. This they an asshole. Yeah. Like the pregnant woman in this scenario, she is an absolute piece of work.
Yeah.
A lot of saying, okay. A lot of saying not the asshole. So a lot of people agree with you. And I could also understand erring on the side of not the asshole due to the fact of knowing, like, okay, the cat's life is involved here. I don't know. I still feel like there could be a better conversation had. Like her talking to him, be like, why?
I'm sorry, I just read. So if your fiance doesn't leave, you may need to board your cat until he does. He doesn't have, but whatever. So he was in on it, but I have some dirt on my ex-fiance I'll use against him if he even tries to dig his heels in about leaving. I know blackmail is morally wrong, but my cat's safety is at stake. Oh, wow. And as a trans woman in my state, it's not like the law will be on my side with evictions. That's another turn, but.
Okay.
Not that part really matters, although I'm sure that can potentially play a part.
Well, as a trans woman, you have to understand, is the state going to try them as a biological male or as a trans woman?
I'm not even
You know.
talking to that level. I'm just talking about the biases of like the daughter.
Oh,
for
true,
example,
true.
you know, like-
no, I'm thinking from the legal matter, like when
Yeah.
it comes to like the property and such, like how is the county going to view that
Yeah.
in that situation? I would send your husband packing too, pregnant or not. That's despicable behavior. See, here's the thing. I agree. Get the pregnant woman out.
Yeah.
She does not deserve to be there, period. I don't know, man. I'm just like, maybe it's just the me, like, because I'm usually the one here who would sit here and be like, leave.
Yeah.
Okay, get out. But 3 years, this is the very first time. And what I don't like is this is hindsight coming to the forefront of saying all of that, right? A long story, but the icing at the top of it was we've been together for 3 years. It was great.
Yeah.
This is the first time. But then all of a sudden we have dirt on someone. You're going in the comments saying you got dirt. Like
Yeah.
now
I'm sure
I'm starting to err more on the side of everyone's the asshole.
And with anyone, like with any one of these posts, there's always going to be way more to the story than just the paragraph that
Without
we
a
get.
doubt.
But
I don't like the fact that the OP is going in the comments saying, "Oh, I've got more dirt." Like, no, you stop there.
Yeah.
You've already the knife's in. You have cut it. Everything's done. End it there.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is because you've got social clout now. What it feels like, and this is genuinely what it feels like.
Yeah.
Based on what we're reading, it feels like because everyone's erring on your side, you now have social clout, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm just pound on my chest. I've got more dirt on this individual." Like, no.
yeah. But I mean, and well, yes, but now even the older daughter has agreed with her that they should break up.
Per this comment, I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. Reddit gave me great advice and get
Well,
me
even-
thinking about. But Kate made me realize I deserve better.
But then also, even in the original post, she said that. Well, actually, I think it was in the update to the post. But anyway, yeah, that's wow, that's a fucking story and a half. Yeah,
Wait, not tolerating abuse of your family members and pets or family is a normal healthy thing if she's willing to try to get rid of your cat that way. Yeah, no, I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finalize my thought on this because I feel like we're gonna keep running into the same ones over and over again. Pregnant teenage stepdaughter, get her out. She's an asshole for sure.
Yeah.
Gone. Goodbye. Peace. Fiance, have a talk.
you can
He's-
have a talk, but yeah, if you're in on it at that level to where you agree to get her out of the house so that way they can get rid of the cat, that's an absolute betrayal of trust.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I didn't think about that.
way
They did
behind
go
that back.
They did go on a walk. Like
Yeah.
he recommended they go on a walk to give time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
now I'm actually rethinking it.
He was fully in on the plan.
Now I'm rethinking this
Yeah.
because I didn't think about that.
Because it's not like he was just an innocent bystander.
Yeah, he actually
was
said, "Hey."
part of it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying it's not the asshole. Like, you know,
know what?
yes, you can have a conversation around that. I don't know if he deserves it though.
So this is what I would say. I didn't think of it that way
Yeah.
because I did forget that part. That he did actually say like, "Hey, let's go for a walk."
Yeah.
You know,
And then come to find out, he's like, yeah, I was in on it the whole time. You know,
Yeah.
because he was like, I thought we should get rid of it for the baby's sake. It's like, all right, have that
yeah,
conversation.
talk to the OP
it
about
should have
it.
started with a conversation. That doesn't mean so. Like, if they fail to give you that conversation, that doesn't mean they deserve one in return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, yes, everyone is the asshole, kind of, but in this scenario, not the asshole.
I'll change my vote. I'll say not the asshole because
We
I
did
didn't
it.
think about that. I didn't think about that. That makes sense. However, I will still say have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because even though that is an ultimate betrayal of trust, make no mistake, I get that for sure. In that event, this is the very first, per what we've read,
Yeah.
very first situation which this has ever happened.
yeah. And
Have
then-
that talk.
yeah,
And
and-
then decide after that. Like if you still after that talk want to be like, nah, we're done. Okay, that's fine. Peace
Yeah.
out. Get them out of there. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
And that's why I say that I can concede in everyone because she said she broke up with him via text and said, I don't give a fuck, get the fuck out. You know?
yeah.
So,
I will say this though. Everybody's saying cat over boyfriend. Like, nah, just like everyone gets a solid chance here. The only person who doesn't is the pregnant chick. Like, get her out of there.
yeah.
Like the cat, sure, the cat deserves a chance. I'd make no mistake, but don't.
Yeah.
The cat's not over everyone else. Like,
You can rehome the fucking cat.
correct. Well, also
You
on
know,
top of that, like,
find a friend,
what happens?
you know.
What happens if you find another partner?
Yeah.
Is that cat going to come before that partner? Are you going to tell that partner that that cat's before you?
I wouldn't say it's before. I know these people are being ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. That's
these people are
everyone
being
here-
ridiculous.
yeah.
I should definitely be partner, but like, you know, pets and just property in general are definitely a conversation to have.
Right here. I am due to give birth in 1 week, and I laughed out loud at the excuse. Being pregnant is absolutely no excuse for that disgusting behavior, and oh boy, is that going to get 1,000 times worse when the baby is here. I would have kicked her out, and I'd have told the spineless fiance to fuck off like you did. He needs to learn to stand up to his own mess of a daughter. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And also what it really sounds like, the more we read into this, good Lord, how far down do we go?
We went
Yeah.
deep.
Him being 45
Yeah.
and already have been through one marriage, the vibes I'm getting off of this is this guy's just like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and he's just like, all right, like, if you don't want to talk to me, okay.
Yeah.
Like, this is some
It's juicy.
heisty shit
Yeah.
for a cat. Like,
Yeah.
well,
That was crazy.
that is a great one to end on, sir.
Yeah.
Everyone, we hope you enjoyed this segment. I know we're enjoying it. We're definitely going to be doing more of these as we go. So stay tuned for more Reddit Am I the Asshole segments. If there's any segments you see, whether it's shitty advice or Am I the Assholes or whatever, send them our way. Drop them in the comments, or just you can email them to us at the daily. Wow, my God in heaven.
Yeah, I'll take over for you. The Lousy Podcast at gmail.com.
See, okay, in my defense, I just got done going through a lot of old files on it. Like I'm getting stuff cleaned out of my office, and I just found an old hard drive that had all of my old daily stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's at the forefront of my brain right now. The Lousy Podcast at gmail.com. Email us there if you have any links, or of course join the Discord, which is down below. You can go right into that link, go through, and all you have to do is say, I'm here for the Lousy Show. And then that'll pop you right into that category, and you can talk to all the other Lousy listeners that we have as well. But we do appreciate y'all for listening. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on any other sites, make sure to hit the follow button, and we'll see y'all in the next one. So
Bye. Have a wonderful time.
later.